I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Oh.
Welcome back, everyone, to the VHS Doom podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Crutcher, here with my co-host, Mikey.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. Thanks for coming back. If this is your first episode, please go back and check out episode 1. We do a really good introduction. Hopefully it's good. We do an introduction, introduce ourselves. Yeah, I think so too. We introduce ourselves to everyone. So you can hear a little bit about how Mikey and I met and how we got into this podcasting thing. That's been coming for 10 years. So yeah, go check it out if you haven't. This week, you have decided to join in a really good week if you haven't listened to the first episode, because this week we're talking about slashers, our favorite slashers, kind of the history of slashers, one of the most influential genres of horror films out there. So I know I'm really excited for this week. Mikey, I think, is a little bit excited too.
I'm all too excited.
Yeah.
I was watching movies leading up to today.
Nice. How many did you watch in prep for this episode?
Let's see. Initiation, House on Sorority Row, The Burning, Madman, and Slaughterhouse. So 5.
5 just leading up for this. How many slashers do you think that you own?
I really don't know, because that's a really hard one, because I tend to just buy them.
Okay.
Like I'll blind buy any slasher.
Yeah.
Especially if it's from the 80s and it was just re-released on Blu-ray or something. I tend to just buy everything, but I don't know. I feel like it's half my collection.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Nice. Yeah, and you said you have a 5,000 DVD roughly collection, so yeah, maybe 2,500 slashers.
I have to see how many I exactly have in my collection. It's been a long, long time since I've.
Yeah, you should take an inventory, right? Make that a project. We'll make that a project, and we'll on the next episode or one of the next episodes, we'll be like, here's Mikey's inventory, and we'll do a breakdown.
Plus, I still have some stuff on the side for you.
Oh yeah, you got to send me those. You really got to send me that box, man. I've been waiting for.
It's been 5 years. They're just in the box above my.
Yeah, 5 years or something like that. But that's okay. You know what? Hey, free movies are free movies. I'm happy either way. So thanks, buddy.
You got that 5 years shipping.
Right. Yeah. 5. It should be really cheap, hopefully. Yeah. So what we're going to do today, we're going to go through, I'm going to just kind of go through a little bit of the history of slashers. If you guys have listened to my Doombox podcast, you know that's what I'm into. I'm into the history of things. So I'm going to go through that. And then we'll point out some notable events or notable slashers that kind of, led into the golden age of slashers. And then Mikey and I are going to talk about some specific titles that came out of the golden age of slashers. So, yeah, if you're ready, Mikey, I'm going to jump in and get started.
All right, take it away.
All right, cool. All right, so as most will know, a slasher film is a genre of horror films involving a killer stalking and murdering a group of people, usually by the use of a sharp blade or sharp tools such as a chainsaw, knife, scalpel, etc. Although the term slasher may occasionally be used informally as a generic term for any horror film involving murder, film analysts cite an established set of characteristics which set a slasher film apart from other horror subgenres, such as monster movies, splatter films, supernatural, and psychological horror films. Critics cite the Italian giallo films and psychological horror films from the 60s, such as Peeping Tom and Psycho, as early influences on the slasher genre. The genre hit its peak popularity between 1978 and 1984 in an era deemed the slasher's golden age. Notable films from this period include Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 1974, Black Christmas. The U.S. title was Silent Night, Evil Night in 1974. John Carpenter's Halloween in 1978. Friday the 13th in 1980. Nightmare on Elm Street in 1984. The slasher canon can be divided into three areas: the classical, 1974 to 1993, the self-referential, 1994 to 2000, and the neo-slasher cycle from 2001 to 2013. Special note, some experts point to the Grand Guignol Theater in Paris as an original influence for future slashers. From its opening in 1897 until its closing in 1962, it specialized in a naturalistic horror show. Its name is often used as a general term for graphic horror entertainment. Cool. All right, so that's the beginning there. All right, so let's talk a little bit about very early film influences on the slasher genre. So George Archambaud's 13 Women in 1932 tells the story of a sorority whose former members are set against one another by a vengeful peer who crosses out their yearbook photos, a device used in subsequent films Prom Night in 1980 and Graduation Day in 1981. Basil Rathbone's The Scarlet Claw in 1944 sees Sherlock Holmes investigate murders committed with a 5-pronged garden weeder that the killer would raise in the air and bring down on the victim repeatedly, an editing technique that became familiar in the genre. Maybe one of the most familiar editing techniques in the slasher genre. Robert Sidelmach, have you seen that one? Right, Robert Sidelmach's The Spiral Staircase?
No. I mean, I've heard of them, but I've never seen them.
Yeah, same.
I have seen Peeping Tom, though. I just re-watched that. I have the Blu-ray for that one.
Nice. Robert Sidelmach's The Spiral Staircase in 1946 was based on Ethel White's novel Some Must Watch. It stars Ethel Barrymore as a sympathetic woman trying to survive black-gloved killers. The Spiral Staircase also features an early use of jump scares. And then, as everyone should know, Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 Psycho used visuals that had been deemed unacceptable by movie studios, including scenes of violence, sexuality, and even the shot of a toilet flushing. The film featured an iconic score by Bernard Herrmann that has been frequently imitated in slasher and horror films. That same year, Michael Powell released Peeping Tom, showing the killer's perspective as he murders women to photograph their dying expressions.
You have to see the weapon he uses, though. It's like it's a camera, but it has a knife attached to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a long spear kind of camera knife thing.
That's cool. I've never watched Peeping Tom. I should definitely watch that, though. And then, so we have splatter, exploitation. Is it crimmy? Creamy? Crimmy?
Crimmy.
Crimmy? Okay.
They were German crime novels and movies. I've never seen any of them.
Gotcha.
So, but they're a big influence on giallo also.
So splatter, exploitation, crimmy, and giallo films opened the way for the golden age of the slasher. So we're going to take a little break there and ask Mikey a little bit about each of these categories. So what are some of your favorite splatter films?
First would be Blood Feast, because it was the first one, I would say. First splatter film.
Okay.
It's been called that, yes.
Okay. Who was the director of that?
Herschel Gordon Lewis.
Herschel Gordon Lewis?
He directed 2000 Maniacs, Gruesome Twosome, Gore Girls.
Gore Girls?
Like, yeah, it's like 70s like exploitation kind of stuff.
Okay, nice. Okay, so then that kind of leads into exploitation. Man, your collection, your exploitation collection is pretty big. I know we've watched quite a few, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like what are some of the titles that we watched together? I know we watched a lot of like Nazi-exploitation.
Nazi-exploitation? Yeah. I showed you a couple of those.
Mm-hmm.
I showed you SS Hellcamp, which is also called Beast and Heat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's on the Video Nasties list.
Is that one? Nice.
Let's see. Yeah, I showed you the Gestapo's Last Orgy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did I show you any of the Elsa She-Wolf of the SS movies?
Yeah, you did. Uh-huh. Yeah, we watched that. You might have given me one of those.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I might have, yeah.
And then you just sent me a picture the other day of a nunsploitation, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. So there's another genre in a lot of Italian and Spanish movies are like that. It's called nunsploitation.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be like something about like a nun losing her faith, falling in love with Satan, to just being like really sleazy ones.
Yeah, what was the title of the one you sent me the other day?
Oh, Alucarda. That was more of just like a '70s like satanic movie from Mexico.
Oh, okay. I thought it was nunsploitation.
There was some nunsploitation elements, but I wouldn't say it's like a nunsploitation movie.
Okay, gotcha. Cool.
I could be wrong though.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Cool. And then, Crimmy, you said you really don't have any Crimmy films, right?
No,
Okay.
I've been wanting to start collecting those because I'm really obsessed with giallo and gialli movies, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it's a big influence on that genre too.
Nice. Yeah. Well, so yeah, that's next. The Giallo films, like I know that's a huge part of your collection too. So what are some of your favorite Giallos?
Black Belly of the Tarantula. I showed you that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was, I think, the first one I showed you.
Mm-hmm.
Another one of my favorites is Short Night of the Glass Dolls.
Okay.
This man thinks everybody thinks he's dead, but he's not, and everything is from like an internal monologue kind of thing of him like telling a story of what happened.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, Dario Argento's Bird with the Crystal Plumage with his first movie. It's really amazing.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, all of these types of films opened up the way for the golden age of the slasher. So eras of slashers, just kind of like broad spectrum. And from 1978 to 1984, you had your golden age. 84 to 94, we were going to be more like silver age direct to video. And then 94 to present, they call it postmodern slashers. We had more specific timelines in the beginning there, but this is like the overarching categories of slashers. So jump-started by the massive success of John Carpenter's Halloween in 1978, although there were big titles that have gained followings before that. The era commonly cited as the golden age of the slasher is from 1978 to 1984, with some scholars citing over 100 similar films released over a 6-year period in this time frame. Despite most films receiving negative reviews, many golden age slasher films were extremely profitable and have established cult followings. Many films reused Halloween's template of a murderous figure stalking teens, though they escalated the gore and nudity from Carpenter's restrained film. Golden Age slasher films exploited the dangers lurking in American institutions such as high schools, colleges, summer camps, and hospitals. Then in 1984, from 84 to 94, we kind of get into more direct-to-video stuff. Despite 1984 film A Nightmare on Elm Street's success, fatigue hit the slasher genre and its popularity had declined substantially. The home video revolution, fueled by the popularity of VHS Doom, provided a new outlet for low-budget filmmaking. Without major studio backing for theatrical release, slasher films became the second highest producing genre in the home video market, just short of pornography. The drop in budgets to accommodate a more economic approach was usually met with a decline in quality, although some people love that. Holdovers filmed during the golden age, such as Too Scared to Scream in 1985, The Mutilator in 85, and Blood Rage in 87, Killer Party in 86.
I've shown you that one.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And Mountaintop Motel Massacre in 86 found video distribution. Mirroring the punk rock movement, which maybe is why I love it, novice filmmakers proved anyone could make a movie on home video, resulting in shot-on-video slashers Blood Cult in 1985, The Ripper in 85, Spine in 86, Truth or Dare in 86.
I have a funny fact about that movie. It's the film debut of AJ from the Backstreet Boys.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay. Was he a kid?
Yeah, I think so, if I remember right.
Yeah, he's a little kid in the movie. That's awesome. All right, so lesser-known horror properties, Sleepaway Camp, The Slumber Party Massacre, and Silent Night, Deadly Night became series on home video. The Hills Have Eyes Part 2 in 1985 and Friday the 13th A New Beginning in 85 were theatrically released, but neither film was embraced like A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 Freddy's Revenge in 85. It was a sequel rushed into production. Distinguished by overly homoerotic undertones, Freddy's Revenge became the highest grossing horror film of 1985.
I think it's very underrated in the series.
Freddy's Revenge?
Yeah, it's like I really like that one a lot.
Yeah. Well, it inspired Dream Slashers Dream
Oh,
Maniac
that's a funny one.
in 86, Bad Dreams in 88, Deadly Dreams in 88, and Dream Demon in 88. That really like spurred people were like, I'm going to make this today because those all came out at the same
You should see
time.
Bad Dreams though. That's a good one.
Yeah? Okay. Bad Dreams. Let's see
Yeah.
here. So Bad Dreams is an 88 supernatural mystery slasher film co-written and directed by Andrew Fleming, starring Jennifer Rubin, Bruce Abbott, E.G. Daly, Dean Cameron, Harris Yulin, and Richard Lynch. It was produced by Gail Ann Hurd. The plot follows a woman who awakens from a 13-year-long coma and finds herself being stalked by the ghost of a cult leader who led a mass suicide by fire that she survived as a child. Very cool. Let's see. So it grossed $9.8 million at box office on a budget of $4.5 million. Made a little money. However, it was criticized by horror fans and critics alike because of its similarities to A Nightmare on Elm Street, even taking into account that Jennifer Rubin was a supporting actress in A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors in 87.
Yep.
So that is interesting. But I feel like a lot of great films are copies, right? So we were just talking about,
for sure.
we were talking about maybe episode 1, we should talk about Romero or like Night of the Living Dead, or the series, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how many spin-offs, how many copies, Italian copies are really good copies of Night of the Living
Even
Dead.
Return of the Living Dead is a spin-off from the Night of the Living Dead series.
Right. Yeah. So it's like imitation is the best form of flattery. So, if there's like a line I know in production, if you're using someone else's, like you're copying someone else's film just to make money out of the popularity, that's one thing. But like Eli Roth, right? If he goes and he makes, what was his Green
Inferno.
Green Inferno. Yeah. So when Eli Roth,
he took that title from the unofficial second Cannibal Holocaust movie.
right, exactly. Yeah. So that was his homage to Cannibal Holocaust, So,
I feel like I rewatched Hostel recently. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut in.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
No, but I've noticed a lot of like Gialli references in it.
In Hostel.
And even where it's shot, where it's like Eastern Europe, and I don't know, something about it. Edwidge Finch, one of the main actresses of Gialli movies, especially Sergio Martino's movies, was had a cameo in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that Hostel, what sticks in my mind from Hostel more than anything else, I have this problem with like hands and feet. So when the
Achilles one, yeah.
Bro, when he cut the Achilles and that guy stood up and he fell forward and they show the thing opening up, I passed out almost. Oh my God. Woo wee. Anyway.
There's a leg in audition.
Yeah. Yeah. The eyes. Bro. For real. That one was wild. Anyway. All right. So we covered a bunch of movies there. So I know that's a lot of titles we mentioned, but are there any more you want to give honorable mention to from the 84 to 94 time period, or 80 to 94?
Yeah, so I have a list of them. Oh, I picked the 1981 slasher, The Burning. It's directed by Tony Maylam, and it's written by Tony Maylam, Harvey Weinstein, Bob Weinstein, Peter Lawrence. It was distributed by MGM, and it has Holly Hunter in it and Jason Alexander.
Oh yeah, okay,
like
nice.
When they were like really young, yeah.
So it's pre Seinfeld.
Yeah, he has hair there.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, the story is the groundskeeper Cropsey is sleeping in his bed, and all of a sudden, campers throw in fireworks or some kind of thing on fire into his house. He burns alive there, and then everybody thinks he's dead. And then all of a sudden, kids are starting to get murdered at a sleepaway camp. And this movie and the movie Madman were both at the same time in production. They were supposed to be about the same thing. They had to change Madman's name from Cropsy to Madman Mars.
Oh, and so okay, interesting. So it was two different films in production at the same time with the same character name? Is that
Kind
what you're
of
saying?
story. Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, wild. Huh. All right, so what else you got?
Okay, so I have next Prom Night 1980,
Okay,
and that one is directed by Paul Lynch. It
okay.
stars Leslie Nielsen and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. That's like,
This is like after, yeah, like a couple of years after. I think this is 19. I think it was like 1980. This came out. Yeah, so a couple of years after Halloween. So the movie is all these little kids are playing, and one of them falls off a building kind of thing and dies, and a killer starts killing their friends 6 years later in revenge of it. And it's pretty good. It's really disco-y, I would say that. It's kind of weird seeing Jamie Lee Curtis play a high schooler. I don't know.
yeah,
There.
okay. Well, so a little blurb on Jamie Lee Curtis. She is best known for her performances in horror and slasher genres. She's regarded as a scream queen. In addition to roles in comedies, she's received multiple accolades, including an Academy Award, BAFTA, 2 Golden Globes, as well as nomination for a Primetime Emmy and a Grammy. So obviously,
He has a Grammy?
Yeah, I know. That's
Huh.
super surprising. I didn't know that.
And her mother was the star of Psycho. That's why Carpenter picked her for the role.
Yeah, she was also in. Did you watch Knives Out? I actually really like that movie.
I haven't seen it yet.
That one's really good. It's
I think I started watching it, but I fell asleep.
yeah,
Which
it's
has been happening a lot since my son's been born.
Excuse me. Yeah, I know. Parenthood, you fall asleep during everything, but I do too. For sure. But yeah, Knives Out was, what's the guy's name? Daniel Craig. Yeah, as the detective, and he really does a good job. In that it's like a completely different role for him versus like his James Bond roles, but it's worth a watch. And then Everything Everywhere All at Once, I have not watched yet. Have you checked that out yet?
I heard about it. I haven't watched it yet.
I know, when they won all those awards, I was like, man, I got to put that on the list. It's supposed to be pretty intense, I think. So, but yeah, so her performance in Everything Everywhere All at Once earned her multiple accolades, including the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. As of 2023,
Awesome.
her films have grossed over $2.5 billion at the box office. Good for her. Anyway, all right, cool. We'll let you get back to it.
Okay. So 1982's Pieces. All right. This one is ridiculous in itself. It's hilarious. It's by the director of the movies Slugs and Cthulhu Mansion, Juan Pacor Simon. He's Spanish. It was a Spanish and Italian production, if I remember right. So there's a killer killing on the campus of a college. And it's supposed to take place in Boston, but it looks like Spain.
Nice. Okay.
There are some of the most ridiculous kills I've ever seen in this movie, including someone getting like their head cut off by a glass table, a girl getting cut in half with a chainsaw, someone getting stabbed to death on a waterbed. There's so many funny memories from this movie, honestly.
Nice. And then, so this one was Christopher George, Linda Day, Frank Branya, Paul L. Smith, Edmund Purdom.
Yeah, the guy who played Pluto in Popeye the Sailor Man movie.
Pluto. Okay, gotcha.
He's in it as a red herring.
Nice. Okay, very cool. All right, cool. What else you got on your list?
And I have Graduation Day from 1981.
Okay.
You brought that one up last time when you were talking about the history of like with the crossing out of the people on the list. Right?
Yep. Uh-huh.
Okay, so the killer is it starts off with somebody dying while they were at a sports event, like a running event, because it takes place like this running team.
Mm-hmm.
And this girl's coming back to her town after not living there for a while, and the murders start happening.
So I will say the poster for Graduation Day, I love the title. There are 200 seniors at Midvale High and 7 days till graduation. The class of 81 is running out of time.
Yeah, there's also another one that was released in '84 with the same plot. It's called Fatal Games.
Fatal Games. Okay, nice.
Yeah,
Now
that never made it to DVD or Blu-ray yet.
this poster that I'm looking at online, it's got the picture of like a kid wearing a graduation cap, and they have an axe sticking out of their head. Like, was that the killer's main weapon, like a medieval axe kind of thing?
They use different kinds of weapons in it.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. And what else you got?
I'll do the one that I was just rewatching earlier before we started recording. The Initiation from 1984. So that one is another sorority slasher, kind of like House of Sorority Row, but this time this girl is being tormented with her and her friends have to do a dare through their sorority that they have to spend the night in this mall that her stepfather owns.
Mm-hmm.
And murders start happening. The twist at the end of this one is pretty cool. It also takes it from Halloween, where a killer is breaking out of a mental institution. It stars Vera Miles, who is also in Psycho. Clu Gulager, whose son directed the Feast movies. He was also in Return of the Living Dead. He also directed movies himself.
Okay.
And Daphne Zawunga, I think her last name is.
Does that take place in an apartment complex, like the murders?
No, a mall.
Okay, I must be thinking of something else. There's this line that Carla says all the time from a movie
Blood
that
Rage.
we watched with you. What was it?
Blood Rage.
Blood Rage? Tim, stop playing around, Tim. The way she says it, though, she loves saying Tim. I don't know why. Anyway.
And then this is not cranberry sauce, it's blood.
Yeah. Because that was like Thanksgiving, right? It was a Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah. The brother breaks out on Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he was in a like a psych ward.
His
too,
brother
right?
framed him for a murder.
Right, that's it. That's why I thought a lot of these movies sound a little similar, but that is how it is.
They are.
Right? The themes are all the
honestly,
same.
They are, but they're yeah.
One of the things I was reading about when I was doing kind of like my history of slashers research is kind of about like the virgin survival trope that John Carpenter kind of initiated. He said he didn't mean to do that. Like he said in interviews, like that wasn't my intention, but people ran with it, like the virgin survives, which is such a common trope that it made its way all the way up into like parody films, in like the 2000s. So
That's why I'm
Cool.
kind of confused with like Scream and Scary Movie.
mhm.
It like they didn't need to do Scary Movie because Scream was already a parody on it.
Right, but then
So it's like a parody of a parody.
bro, there some of those like later parodies when they started doing like superhero parodies. Do you remember the parody
Horrible.
like time frame? Like I'm trying
Yeah,
to
that was
think
like mid 2000s.
yeah, that was like a big thing. Let's see, what is the superhero parody film?
Superhero movie, disaster movie.
Superhero movie.
Fuck.
I think I'm thinking of superhero movie.
It was Meet the
But-
Spartans. There was like all those weird ones.
Right? Yeah. There were some really bad parodies for a while. I don't know why.
And they were just
Maybe
like,
I think people just saw like Scary Movie made money, and then whatever they put out next made a little money. So I think people just jump on. It's like right now we were living in the age of the superhero film, and every comic book company is jumping into making their superhero film.
it's almost too
like-
much at this point.
It is. It's way too much at this point. They've gone way overboard, and they're doing the next series and the next series and the next series. And like, then you have movies that are just god awful. Like Black Adam was really bad,
I don't watch those kind of movies anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't. I get it. Like, I understand like why you would not, and I don't recommend it because I think there has to be a shift again in the marketplace. Like with slashers, like 100 films in 6 years that are all very similar, just tries to get everybody's dollars out of their pocket the best they can with the same type of movie. Now, granted,
But those
slasher
kind of movies
films,
had heart, though. Even like the worst one.
yeah, for sure. Um, I feel like the slasher genre, everybody put it was because it was a lot of practical effects. I think, right? You put a lot of
There's
your
more love into those movies than the Marvel movies, honestly.
yeah, for sure.
It feels like a
So,
lot of these movies are just rushed together now. And it's
yeah,
weird
they
because they
do.
have so much of the budget, too.
Right, they do. They have massive budgets, but then when they fail, that's kind of when that genre falls out and you go to direct to video. And I highly doubt anybody's putting a direct to video superhero movie out versus people who were like into horror films with their hearts. They're like, you know what, whatever. I'm going to put it out on VHS myself because I love this. So it's completely different. But yeah, it is.
I will say there are good like directors like doing it though, like James Gunn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, that's why he fired everybody in the DC universe to start over. Oh my God, yeah, well, because they can't get it right. Like, which Batman? Who's next? You know, I mean, they've had Ben Affleck and now Robert Pattinson, and maybe next it'll be, you know, whoever. Like, I don't know.
Macaulay Culkin.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, all right, let's get back to our timeline here. So, you covered The Burning from 1981, Prom Night from 80, Pieces from 82. You covered Graduation Day from 81, The Initiation from 84. Did you talk about House on Sorority Row?
I was going to, yeah. That was going to be the last one.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, so let's talk House on Sorority Row.
The last one I chose was The House on Sorority Row from 1982, and it's directed by Mark Rossum. It stars Kate McNeil, Eileen Davidson, Janice Ward, Robin Malloy, Harley Jane Kozak, Jodie Dragey, and Ellen Dorsher. And it's about this sorority on their last couple days left since they're graduating. They wanted to throw a party at their house, but the house mother would not let them. Their house mother's very strict.
Mm-hmm.
And then they decided to play a prank on her, to pull a fake gun out on her.
Yeah.
And she ends up having a heart attack and falling into the pool and dying.
Okay.
And then
Nice.
someone, well, at least they think she's dead. And so then somebody starts committing murders around the sorority house. And there's an excellent decapitation scene in it.
Oh, nice. You know, we watched this together. I don't remember that. I don't remember the decapitation scene because my brain just doesn't let me remember anything anymore because I'm old.
It was mostly in this movie was kills used with the cane from the house mother.
Gotcha. Well, we're not going to say who the killer is, but go watch the movie for yourself if you haven't. You know what's crazy? So, House on Sorority Row's budget was $425,000 to make. They made $10.6 million at the box office. That
There should have been a sequel
itself. Yeah, that in itself. So that was 82, right? Or 81?
82.
It's 82. They say the golden age starts in 84, right? But that's when people are producing like a ton. That, like this movie's like profit to loss, like their profit ratio is through the roof. So it makes sense as to why production companies started jumping on board with that. Cool. All right. Well, did you have any others you wanted to talk about there before I go on to the next little section?
No, not yet.
All right. So the final like section we're going to talk about as far as like history of slashers is from 1994 to the present, which is postmodern slashers is what they're considered. The slasher film's popular resurrection came in the form of Scream in 1996, a box office smash, and it redefined the genre's rules. Directed by Wes Craven and written by Kevin Williamson, Scream juggled postmodern humor with visceral horror. The film played on nostalgia for the golden age, but appealed to a younger audience with contemporary young actors and popular music. Williamson, a self-confessed fan of Halloween, Prom Night, and Friday the 13th, wrote the characters as well-versed in horror film lore and knowing all the cliches that the audience were aware of. The film grossed $173 million worldwide. It became both the highest-grossing slasher film of all time and the first one to cross the $100 million mark at the domestic box office, and the most successful horror film since Silence of the Lambs in 1991. The marketing for Scream distanced itself from the slasher subgenre as it passed itself as a new thriller that showcased the celebrity of its stars, promoting the appearances of then popular stars Drew Barrymore, Courtney Cox, and Neve Campbell over its violence. Other higher-grossing slashers in this time period include I Know What You Did Last Summer in 1997, Scream 2, the highest-grossing opening weekend for an R-rated film at that time, and Urban Legend.
That's my favorite one.
Scream 2. Yeah. Halloween H20, which was 20 years later in 98. Also, like, super notable, but not as big of a box office was Candyman. That's like a huge, like, cult classic, obviously. It just didn't make as much at the box office, so it didn't make its way into this list. But, I mean, Tony Todd, can't beat Tony Todd, man. So,
he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he is. You got to meet him. I know. We talked about that last episode. So, all right. That's kind of what I got there. What would you say are some of the most influential slashers made in like the last 20 years, Mike?
I would say, okay, so the Hatchet from Adam Green. Kane Hodder plays the killer and the father in the movie. It's about a deformed boy who gets bullied by these couple kids. They end up playing a trick on him and burning his house down with him and his dad inside. And then he comes back as the killer, Victor Crowley, he's kind of a ghost also. So he's like this big, like, hulking, like, mutant-looking thing, but he's like a ghost.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Danielle Harris stars in it. There's been 4 of them.
Okay.
The last one was called Victor Crowley.
I would say I'm going to point out one of my favorites here. Wrong Turn 2 with Henry Rollins. Dude, that's
speaking of
direct-to-video. That's big. I like that one a lot.
The director of that one and Hatchet, Adam Green and Joe Lynch have a podcast together called The Movie Crypt.
Oh, for real? Nice. Okay, very cool.
Yeah, I love those Wrong Turn movies.
Yeah, right. They're good. I think that I personally really like the mutant human deformed, like Hills Have Eyes, The Hills Have Eyes series, or like Wrong Turn series. For some reason that it really gets under my skin. Like, oh, so I like it.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so some other ones. The My Bloody Valentine remake I loved a lot.
Yeah, we were just talking about that before the show.
A lot of people don't like the House of Wax remake, but it's more of a remake of the 1970s movie Tourist Trap.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know why it got that title, but I think it's okay for a slasher. I like it. There's Gutter Balls also, which is another one I've shown you from Canada. It's a really messed up one.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I Spit on Your Grave, but in a bowling alley.
Yeah, yeah.
I really liked Happy Death Day, the first one.
Yeah, I heard that was really good. I haven't watched it. I know it's not exactly a slasher, but it has like slasher themes a little bit, but because it plays on your fears. But It Follows was a really good horror movie within this time frame.
Oh man, yeah, that's one of my favorite from the 2010s.
Yeah, that one was. I think it came out in 2014.
I saw that in theaters. Did I show you that?
I think we watched it together. The first time I saw it. That one really messed me and Carla.
Yeah.
It messed Carla up for sure. There was another one that was out on Netflix not that long ago.
Freaky Friday. It was from the same people.
Yeah, or
it was called Freaky. It was called Freaky.
Freaky,
but it was the plot of Freaky Friday as a slasher.
Right. Oh yeah, that one had Vince. What's his name?
Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn was the killer in that. That was really good. Cool. All right, so we've talked about the progression of slashers throughout the years. I know, like, very limited detail. We could do episodes on, just a few years, or each title even. So we kind of got into the intricate details of a few more films through, like, from the Golden Age, thanks to Mikey. But I guess, is there anything else that you want to cover in particular on this slasher episode of VHS Doom before we help our customers get their popcorn and candy and head them out the door?
I talked about before. I wanted to know what your favorites were.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so yeah, like I said, I really liked Wrong Turn 2 a lot. That's up there. I probably watched that like 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 times. Personally, I'm a big fan of Black Flag anyway. So when I saw Henry Rollins was in the movie, I was like, yeah, I'm going to watch this a bunch.
That's what originally told me too.
Right? You find like an actor you really, really like and it draws you in. We were talking about this before the show, but I really liked My Bloody Valentine, the original. Like that was a big one for me. Was it in My Bloody Valentine?
That's one of my favorites too.
Yeah, was that in the bar where they playing the knife stabbing game in My Bloody Valentine in the beginning?
Yeah, they were.
And one of them stabs themselves in the finger. I think so. Those, I'm telling you, hands and feet, man, they always stick with me. So yeah, that gets me a lot. I really obviously like, some of the like more mainstream, like bigger titles. Like Nightmare on Elm Street is way up there for me. The original, I like that a lot. So those are some of my favorites that I can point out. And then, Gutterballs was really, really good. Would you consider Black Devil Doll a slasher?
No. Well, yeah, if Chucky is.
Right. Chucky is a slasher. Chucky is technically in the postmodern, or no, like the 94s, like the straight-to-video era. It ranked around like Candyman.
Well, that's like the later sequels, though.
Yeah, but like...
Because Child's Play came out when? Wasn't it the 80s?
Okay, yeah. So the original Child's Play was 88, and then the sequel was in 1990. Those two films sold over 14.7 million tickets combined, while Candyman sold a healthy 6.2 million, which was in 1992. So 88, 90, 91, 92, they were still selling for the right titles for slashers, but it was starting to really dwindle down. That's right at the end before direct-to-video. I like Child's Play, but... I've never been huge into doll movies. My sister used to have a lot of like porcelain dolls.
It scare you?
When I was a kid, and they freaked me out. So like some stuff that scares me, I'm drawn to.
Yeah, they scare me too.
Right. So like mutant humans, like deformed humans, like that scares me, but I'm drawn to it because I kind of want to watch it. But like doll stuff really bothers me. Like what was that? Annabelle?
Yeah. From The Conjuring, yeah.
Freaked me out. I can't do it. So I don't know. I watched Child's Play. I
was gonna send you the movie Dolly Dearest.
Which one?
Dolly Dearest. It's a rip-off of Chucky.
Dolly Dearest? Okay. Hey, if you send it, man, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do a review. We talked about maybe some episodes.
It's really bad.
Yeah. We talked about maybe some episodes. Mikey will give me homework to review some like wild off the mall movie. So if you want to, that's cool. I'm down, man.
I got to mail them out then.
Yeah, right. You got to mail them to me. Cool. Yeah, man. Well, I feel like we have made it through about as much as we can make it through on this episode, like introduction to slashers. But I guess what I'd like to do, I'd like to make our final suggestion. Let's tell our customers, our listeners of our new VHS Doom video rental store, what 3 titles they should leave with today and go check out before they bring them back next week.
Okay, so I'll take it from the list that I read out before. Definitely Pieces.
Okay.
From 1982. It's hilarious. The Burning. Tom Savini did the effects for that one. It's worth a watch. It's some of the best kills I've seen in a slasher movie.
Okay. And then what would you say? What would be a good third take home?
I would take home The Initiation.
And why would you take that one?
If you're first watching it, it has some really good kills in it. There's some ridiculous stuff in it too.
Nice. Okay. Well, so I am going to make one recommendation that's for the kids. So, you're taking the kids to the VHS store with you if you got them. And I'm a dad now. So, what I'm going to recommend is the 1993 hit box office masterpiece, Super Mario Bros. So lately
Oh my god.
lately on Twitter, it's been blowing up because of the new Super Mario Brothers movie, animated movie starring Chris Pratt. People have been like,
I heard that movie was good actually.
I haven't seen it, but people have been blowing up like the 90s Super Mario movie, so much so that some people are saying like, listen man, everybody knows this movie is bad, you don't have to keep judging it, we love it because it's bad. So in a quick synopsis,
It's kind of like The Room or Trolls 2.
right, in a quick synopsis, the first feature-length live-action film based on a video game was directed by the husband and wife team of Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jankel, written by Parker Bennett, Terry Raunt, and Ed Solomon, and distributed by Buena Vista Pictures through Hollywood Pictures. It follows brothers Mario, which was played by Bob Hoskins, and Luigi, John Leguizamo, in their quest to rescue Princess Daisy, who was played by Samantha Mathis, from a dystopic parallel universe ruled by the ruthless King Koopa, who was played by Dennis Hopper. So definitely, if you are renting something for the kids, take home 1993's Super Mario Bros. You won't forget it. Da da da. Cool. Is there anything else you want to cover this week before we call it done?
No, I think that's it.
Cool. Yeah, so I think on future episodes, what we'll do, we'll circle back and do some spotlight sessions on particular titles and do more deep dives into how they were produced. We can do that kind of stuff, like how the directors came or the writers came up with the film, or how the directors got funding, what the challenges were to making these films.
That's my favorite kind of stuff to learn about.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it too. I love the history of that kind of stuff. So we can do some more deep
That's
dives.
how I find movies, honestly.
Yeah, right. Same. And I hope we helped our listeners find a couple films. I know most of our audience is going to be like, big horror fans already, so these might not be new titles to them. But if anybody finds us and they haven't made their foray into, their slasher film journey, then they should check out your three titles and definitely take some time to watch 1993's Super Mario Bros. Or not. That's okay.
Or watch Dennis Hopper and Leatherface 2.
Yeah.
Or Texas Chainsaw 2.
Yep. There you go. Right. Exactly. Yeah, see, this is why I like you, Mikey, because you can take one actor and like jump through their.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that
timeline.
kind of deep dive thing for like productions would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm down for doing that on productions for like particular actors or actresses. So that would be great. We could do the career of Tony Todd, or with the career of Kane Hodder, or some of these icons that people like to go meet at the cons. Did you say you're going to the con, right?
I might be going to CT Horror Fest. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Okay. But you got a show actually coming up this weekend you're going to, right?
Oh yeah, I'm seeing Dying Fetus for the first time. I might not come back. You might have to get a new host.
Yeah, if you die in the pit, I will try to replace you. I don't know who I'd replace you with though. So yeah, you have fun, buddy. Shield your face from any.
Yeah, it's Dying Fetus, Sanguisa Sugar Bog, Suicide Silence, and Born of the Osiris, and then a couple of other bands I don't really know.
Cool. Where's it at?
The Webster Theater in Hartford.
Nice. All right, man. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that. As always, VHS Doom crew, we hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope you got everything you needed, and please don't forget to put your membership card back in your wallet. If you lose it, we will charge you $3 for a replacement. All right. Thanks, everyone. You guys have a great week. And if you haven't, go follow us on our Twitter. It's at VHS Doom Pod. Mikey is our social media manager, so help him get some follows. Go follow us at VHS Doom Pod on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, and if you have any notes or you want to, tell us that we suck, or sure that we forgot something, you can email us at vhsdoom@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from a listener, and we can definitely read any comments you guys have on the air. So if you send anything wild, I will read it. No questions asked. So anyway, all right. You guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Peace.